on the brink of tears. And I'm like, Mom, I can't take it, take it, I can't take it. My butt is hurting. I'm like, I can't move.
It was a traumatic yet beautiful experience. The umbilical cord wrapped around his little neck twice.
What is going on to all birthday riders out there? It's your girl V here, and I am back with another video. And I'm so glad you have stuck to this video because now, if you're new here, you're officially part of the Big T Riders. So welcome, welcome. Okay, hit that subscribe button and stay a while. As you guys can see from the title down below, that this video is gonna be all about my labor and delivery story and how God blessed me to become a mama and my husband Dante to become a father. Absolutely beautiful story, and I'm so glad to be here to share it. So without further ado, let's just start from the tip top. My son's birthday is on February 13th, 2025. However, before we get to the 13th, we have to begin on February 11th. That's where it all began. So on February 11th, that was a Tuesday. I woke up around 7 and I went to use the bathroom. So as all you know, or maybe not, when you're pregnant, you're using the bathroom every 30 minutes. So I wake up to use the bathroom as normal, and I turn on the light because the sun's like kind of risen but not too much, so it's kind of dark. I didn't have the light on, and I see there's blood in the toilet and blood on the tissue paper that I just wiped, right? And I just went in a sudden shock. I wasn't panicking yet because I'm like, God is good, nothing's gonna happen to my baby. But I was in shock, like, wait, what? Because when you're pregnant, obviously, no, you're not getting your period. So this is not regular monthly period blood. This could potentially be blood that could mean something either bad or good, right? So I immediately just thought something bad. So I'm like, we gotta go to the hospital. So I text my husband and my mother in a group chat that we were in. My mother was sleeping upstairs, and I'm like, we need to go to the hospital. Like, I just peed blood. And my husband was also upstairs too, because his office is upstairs. So he came down, saw the blood in the toilet. Then my mom came down, saw the blood in the toilet. Dante's researching, like, okay, this could be normal. It's not too much blood, because it wasn't heavy blood. It was like a light amount of blood. So I keep saying blood. Okay, let me move forward. So we all like panic thinking that I'm about to go into labor. And we had to panic because nothing was fully packed. Like, my hospital bag wasn't fully packed, his diaper bag wasn't fully packed. Dante's hospital bag was packed because that was quick and easy. My mom's bag was packed because quick and easy. But I had a lot of things that I needed to bring with me. So I was like, my mom's throwing things into my bag, I'm throwing things into my bag, Dante and my mom's doing the diaper bag, and we all just rush out of the house, right? And as we rush out of the house, the car is just silent. Like, we're all just silent. Dante's not saying anything, our mom's not saying anything, I'm not saying anything. It was as if we were all just praying silently in our heart, and we didn't want there to be any other words spoken to each other, just prayers, right? We check in, they not seat me. I immediately got a room, and they start plugging me up. Well, I put my gown on, they start plugging me up, monitoring the baby, monitoring me, and immediately I hear my baby's heartbeat. And it's like a galloping heartbeat, because weekly I was going to the OBGYN, and they would monitor the baby's heartbeat. And so I'm familiar with that sound, the galloping horse. So when they plugged up the monitor and I heard the gallop, I was like, ah, thank you, Jesus. So the movement I was feeling was true baby movement. He's alive, he's well, right? So I was just like, so relieved the baby's alive and well. And now I'm like, what about me? Like, why am I bleeding? Am I okay now? And they were just like, yes, this is just change in the cervix blood. So you're bleeding because we see a 1 centimeter dilated. I was like, yes, I am about to push this baby out and he's gonna be in my arms. Because at this point, I was just done being pregnant. Like, me and my baby was doing cutesy fruit and vegetable pictures like weekly, like, oh, your baby's the size of a apple, banana, you know? And by like week 35-ish, I was like, done. Like, hey, I'm done taking these pictures. I just want the baby out. I want the baby to be the size of a baby and be in my arms. I'm done with these fruits and vegetables. So when they told me I was 1 centimeter dilated, I'm like, let's go, let's push this baby out. They're like, yeah, but we're gonna send you home and come back when your contractions are closer. I'm like, contractions? I'm not even feeling any contractions. And they're like, yeah, you're contracting about 9 minutes apart. And I was like, what? Because mind you, if you watch our Thanksgiving testimony video, I was feeling contractions. They were Braxton Hicks contractions, but I was feeling contractions. So I know what contractions should feel like. So when she's telling me I'm 9 minutes apart, I'm like, no way. And but obviously the monitor's not gonna lie. So I'm thinking at that point that I'm strong. I want to got strong shoulders, y'all. I'm thinking I'm not feeling a thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't mind going home. I'm not feeling the thing, so that's okay. So my mother, Dante, and I go back in the car and head home. I was like, it's okay, because coincidentally, I had a 4 p.m. appointment with my OBGYN for my weekly visit, and that was week 37. So I was like, all right, that's fine. So we're home and we're getting everything in order for the baby's arrival, right? Washing his clothes, washing my clothes, filling up his diaper bag correctly, not just throwing things in. I also made like essential oils so that I can prepare for the natural birth that I plan on having, right? And these natural oils can like help with the pain and soothe me and calm me, right? So I'm doing all that. I even made like prayer cards that I can pray and verses that I can speak over the baby as I'm pushing and as God's giving me the strength. So all of that is pretty much like getting done that Tuesday afternoon. Between 10 and 4, we're getting everything in order. So by the time I get to the OBGYN, honestly, I should have packed the bag. I should have packed the car still, because I could have went to OBGYN and she would have been like, you're ready to give birth today. And then everything would have been home. But thanks be to God, we went to my OBGYN appointment with nothing in the car, and I wasn't ready to give birth. But my OBGYN, being amazing that she is, amazing Black Christian woman that she is, all right, if you guys know in the earlier videos, I just love how she has scriptures all over her office, in the bathrooms, in the hall, and she plays Christian music. Did I say Christmas? Christian music. And she has Bible verses all over the office, in the bathroom, hallways, you name it. And I love that. Her office is very soothing, very calm, very comfortable. So I go to my apartment, and being the amazing Black Christian OBGYN that she is, she had a well-oiled plan for me. She checked me to see if I increased in dilation, and no, I was still 1 centimeter dilated. So I was like, okay, so that means I'm going back home, because they were like, come back when you're contracting about 5 minutes apart. And yet and still at that doctor's appointment, I was not even feeling a contraction. So it's like, how can I measure my contractions if I can't even feel my contractions? But baby, let me tell you, once I got home, so once we picked up the steroids from our local pharmacy, essentially your girl has low platelets, right? I have 95. I scored 95 the last time I did my blood test. And they say it's gradually going down by each day a week, right? So that was January 30th when I took that blood test. So they're saying like it definitely could be lower by at this point. And I need to have at least 90. So I was at 95 January 30th. And if this thing is going down by weeks and days and weeks, we can assume it's lower than 90 now. So in order to get my platelets back up, I need to take steroids. And once I got home, once I sat down and like breathed about the whole day, like, whew, what a day. Boom, that's when the contractions hit me. And I was like, whoa, what is that? At first I just thought it was just like the tension from the day, and I'm just kind of like having a bit of like tightness in my stomach about it all. But then as I took a shower and as I got into bed, it just increased in intensity and in strength. And now I'm just like, whoa, these are contractions. And by the time I got in bed and lay down, I was in pain, like excruciating pain. And I was like, these are not like Thanksgiving's contraction. This is not Braxton Hicks. This is real deal contractions. So I told my baby, I'm like, yo babe, I'm feeling contractions now. And he's like, how far apart are they? So I download this app and I'm beginning to track my contractions. And I'm tracking all through the night. So your girl is not sleeping. And then there was a moment where it was like, where a contraction was so bad, I was just like, oh, I couldn't even lay down anymore. I began to sit up sleep. Like I was sitting in bed like this, legs laid forward, and I was just sleeping like this. Because I found sitting up made the contractions a bit easier to like ride through than laying down. So there was one contraction that hit, boom, and I was just like, oh, and I'm like breathing through it, practicing the breathing techniques. That didn't work really because I'm still feeling the pain. I'm still in agonizing pain, but I'm still doing the breathing techniques. I'm like, what else am I to do? And I'm like, babe, I want to go to the hospital. Like, I need to go. And I don't, but before I go, I'm like, I want to make sure my doctor is on duty, because she had a well-oiled machine in the event I postpartum hemorrhage. She had everything she was going to have everything in place. The people she wanted around her and all the equipment that she needed in the event such event took place, right? So I'm like, before I go to the hospital, I want to make sure my doctor is on duty. So I called the hospital and I'm like, I'm a pregnant woman, I'm contracting, I want to know my doctor's on duty because I want to come in. And they were like, well, before you come in, are your contractions 5 minutes apart? Because we're just going to send you back home if they're not. And I was like, no, they're not, but I'm in pain. Because at the moment, my contractions were about like 7 to 8 minutes apart. But I still wanted to go in because I just wanted this baby out of me. I was like, I just wanted to be a mother and no longer pregnant, you know? For so long, I was just pregnant. I was like, just please get this baby out of me. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to admit you if you're not 5 minutes apart. I was like, okay, cool. But then also in the back of my head, I'm thinking about the Black woman mortality rate and how we oftentimes don't go to the doctor because we know we're going to get turned away, and then that could be our demise. So I'm just like, I'm battling between, should I go to the hospital and be turned away, or not go to the hospital and something tragic happens? So I'm like, you know what? They've been saying all day, make contractions 5 minutes apart, so I'm gonna wait, because right now they're 7 to 8 minutes apart. I sleep through the whole night. To God be the glory. The sun rose and I was awake and it was a new day. But that was like the longest night ever, and probably the worst night ever I had being pregnant. I wake up the next morning and now it's Wednesday, February 12th. So yeah, now it's Wednesday, February 12th, and we're still getting everything in order for the baby to come. Like all day was just baby prepping. Boy, it was just a quick day. I feel like I just sat on the couch all day. I was like immobile. I couldn't move a muscle because the contractions were still 7 to 8 minutes apart. I'm like, every hour or so I'm timing my contractions through the app, and I'm like, still 7 to 8 minutes, still 7 to 8 minutes. And I'm like, cool. By the time I sat down and had dinner, it was like 7 to 6 minutes. I had some sixes. I'm like, oh, I was like, okay, we getting some motion here. So I'm like, I just found a 7, I just found a 6, and that's like close to 5, you know? So I'm like, okay, action is about to happen. And at that point, contractions were so bad, I couldn't even enjoy dinner because I love fried plantain. That's why my mom made it for me, because she knows I love it. And I couldn't even enjoy it because I was in such pain. So Wednesday really just went by, but I forgot to add, that morning I took the steroid and it quickly dissolved in my mouth. It's like a small white pill that quickly dissolved in my mouth. Like I took water to swallow it, but I feel like by the time I even swallowed it, it was gone, vanished. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad, because like, you know, pills could like vary in sizes, vary in color. So I was like, oh, it's a small white pill, not too bad. So I took it, and that was that, right? And the night came to an end. After dinner, I go in the shower, and surprisingly, my contractions just went away. And I was just like, to God be the glory, because my contractions being gone, I'm not gonna complain, right? So I'm like, awesome. Maybe I don't have to experience contractions leading up until my labor and delivery, because at that point, oh, I missed an important fact. So that night, after I called the hospital, I emailed my doctor in the portal, and I said, basically, hey doctor, I am beginning to contract, and it's 7-8 minutes apart. I just wanted to know, is our plan still going to be in action, because I want to come in and get checked out. And she even informed me like, no, wait until your contractions are 5 minutes apart, because like I said, she had a well-oiled plan that she wanted to happen. She basically wanted to induce me on that Monday, and that Monday would have been February the 17th. So here I am, it is February 12th, and I'm experiencing a full day of contractions, and my doctor's telling me that our plan to induce you on February 17th is still in action. And I asked her, could I potentially contract all the way up until my induction date? And she says yes. So that means I would have been contracting starting February 11th that evening, but then the first full day is February 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Basically about 7 days, full days of contracting if the contraction date, if the induction date really followed through. But to God be the glory, that night I'm taking a shower. It's February 13th. In the shower, my contractions just poof, go away. I come out the shower and still poof, they're gone. And I'm just like getting ready for bed, like, well, I'm about to have a finally sleep tonight. My contractions are gone. I don't have to sit up. But I'm telling you, by the time my husband got in bed, so I'm in bed now, my husband's down in the shower and he comes out and comes in bed, contractions are back. And I'm like, dang, like, baby, I just had like an hour free of no contractions, and just like that, now they're back. I just felt my first one. And then when I felt that first one, I timed it, and I saw 6 to 7 minutes. I had no more 8 minutes. That whole hour was like 6 to 7 minutes. And I'm like, perfect, God is good, right? Maybe I'm getting closer to 5 minutes. And my husband's in the baby right now, I don't know if you heard the baby. And I am laying in bed, and I'm like, maybe the pain won't be as bad today, so I just had a little break from the shower and an hour break. So I lay down, and when I tell you, when that contraction came through, I jumped up like a popcorn on a kernel, like, on the stove that's being popped into a popcorn. I popped up quick, like, ooh, because I didn't want the pain to continue, because as I lay down, the pain just intensified and intensified and intensified. So I popped up hoping that the pain will a little like diminish just a bit to like relieve me from the pain, and it didn't. It didn't. It was just boom, 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 punches of pain. So at this point, I am documenting. I'm seeing 6 to 5 minutes, 6 to 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And finally, it was around like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm getting contractions that are hitting 4 to 3 minutes. Like when I tell you it jumped, I went from 5 to 6 to 4 to 3. Not even 5, 4. It went 4 to 3. So now I'm just like, oh, we going to the hospital now. So I'm like, baby, wake up, we're going to the hospital. And if anyone knows my baby, he usually asks us questions like, where we at, what's happening, da-da-da. He's like, he jumped straight out of bed and was like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So he jumps out of bed, runs upstairs, knocks on the bedroom door my mom was in, and tells her like, we're going to the hospital, Victoria is ready to deliver. I'm in the closet getting dressed. My mom comes into the closet. She asks me, V, how you doing? I am like on the brink of tears. And I'm like, Mama, can't take it. I really couldn't take it. Like, I'm someone who boasts about having a high pain tolerance. So when I was on the brink of tears, like, Mom, I can't take it no more. I really can't take it. I knew the baby was coming. Like, if anyone knows me, I don't cry often. And I'm not boasting about that. I'm just someone who just doesn't cry often. Like if I'm crying about something, it's like very serious. So I wanted to cry so bad. Like that was a moment that I wanted to cry. And I held back. My Victoria, don't cry, it's not gonna solve nothing. The pain's still gonna come every 4 to 3 minutes. And mind you, at this point, by the time we're all dressing in the car, my contraction was coming 2 to 3 minutes. And by the time we got to the hospital, it was every minute my contraction was coming in. So, and I'm just like yelling in tears, not in tears, I'm like yelling and screaming from the pain of the contractions, right? So we get into the hospital, going to the ER. So when I tell you they moved in fast fashion, they truly did. I walk in there holding my belly, kind of like in pain, telling my name, giving my license. I sign the document, they take me to a room. I think they took my weight and then they put me in the waiting room. And when they put me in the waiting room, I was like, I'm in a waiting room? Are you kidding me? I was just so upset internally, but yet I couldn't even express how upset I was because I was in pain. But to God be the glory, again, literally I was in that waiting room for like 1 minute because by the next minute, someone's coming with a wheelchair, calling my name out to hop on the wheelchair to be strolled to the labor and delivery unit. And I go back into the room where I was basically the morning before, and now they see, yeah, your contractions are every minute, and not only are you're not 1 centimeter, you're now 4 centimeters dilated. So I was like, baby is coming. And even though internally I was kind of like nervous and scared and kind of like anxious about it all, I was also just ready. And I was like, God, you're gonna bring me through. So like, take away this anxiety, take away this fear, take away everything I'm feeling and just bring me through, because that's literally all I can count on. Like nothing else is in my control. There was no way for me to just stop being pregnant. There was no way for me to just stop the contractions. Everything just had to follow through. Everything just had to play out. So now they moved me from the labor and delivery unit room, and I guess the labor room, and they moved me to the delivery room where I officially will deliver. And now I'm in that bed. And when I tell you like this part, excuse me, I don't quite remember much because of the debilitating pain that I was in. It made me a bit delusional. I felt detached from the world in a bit. Like I felt I'm here, but am I really? Like I was very like loopy in a sense. I think the pain began to make me like a bit loopy, and I was like, when is this pain gonna go away? Like, am I gonna continue to experience contractions every minute until delivery? I asked one of the nurses this. And she was like, yeah, it's actually gonna get a lot worse. I was like, worse? I looked over to my baby and I said, babe, I think I'm doing the epidural. And he was just like, yeah, like it's been around for years. We did our research on it. Like, do what you want, basically. And I was like, yeah, I need those drugs. Like, I just needed the pain to go away. And like I said earlier, I just needed God to give me the peace and the comfort whenever I make that decision. So when I made that decision to take the epidural, I had peace and comfort in making that decision. Like, obviously, throughout my whole pregnancy, I was like, I'm gonna do a natural delivery, no drugs, no pharmaceuticals, all natural. But now, here I am, delivery day, and I'm at ease and comfort about taking the epidural. So I take the epidural, and before I take the epidural, right, the guy comes in, he has like this little mini kit in his hand, and he looks at my husband in a way that I peeped, right? And I'm just like, why did he look at my man like that? But I'm like, I don't want no issues with this man, so I'm just like, drug me up, please. Like, just come here and drug me up, because the needle goes into the spine. So like, he had to come behind me and basically set the needle so that I can have the epidural. So he's like telling me, remain very still, as still as possible, remain very still. He's telling me this over and over, and I get it. I'm like, okay, I'm remaining still. So I'm remaining as still as possible. But then, I'm telling you, my contractions are coming every minute. So now is the minute for the contraction to come. So now I'm beginning to feel a contraction. And I informed him, I said, a contraction is coming. Because how the contractions come, they come like a wave. Like, you see it, and then it just becomes bigger and bigger, and then takes everything over. Basically, it took my whole body over. So I'm beginning to feel the gradual effects of the contraction coming and coming and coming. And before, I had like no control of my body, because like it gets to a point where it's just like, it's so painful that you just have to like yell or scream or move, right? And I'm like, I feel a contraction coming. And he doesn't respond to that at all. Like, not even an inch did he move or say anything. He just continues to proceed the needle into my spine. So now I'm at a point where the contraction is like at its full climax, and I'm in like agonizing pain now. So now I'm like in agonizing pain from the contraction, and I'm in pain from the needle going in my spine. So yeah, your girl moved, okay? But I expected him to just stop, right? But he didn't. And it moved, and the needle popped out, right? And when a needle popped out or something like that, something happened and that caused me to have some spinal fluid leakage, something like that. And I'm like, wait, what is that supposed to mean? You know, it's like, let me finish. So now the contraction's over, and now he's trying to use this 1 minute interval that he has to finish. So now he's going, doing the procedure, inserting the epidural into me. And now he's finished, and now I'm just like, what just happened, right? I'm trying to stay cool, but also like internally I'm panicking. But you have to be nice to everyone around you, because like, they have your life in your hands, as well as God has your life in his hands. But these doctors really are being led by God in a sense, right? So I'm like, let me just be nice to this guy, because I don't know what's going on. But spinal leakage fluid just sounded scary. And he informs me that it's nothing to worry about. He's gonna have an excruciating headache the next morning. But don't worry, if the headache happens, just drink either a lot of water or coffee. But if that doesn't get rid of the headache, we're gonna have to fill your spine up with a leak happen with blood, because it's kind of like empty right now. So filling it with blood will kind of like bring a balance to it all. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. But then he proceeded to tell me, oh, this hasn't happened to me. This hasn't happened to me in 11 years. I'm like, well, dang, well, thanks. First, you made me feel relieved, like, oh, it's just a headache and it can be easily solved with one to two things. And now you're telling me this hasn't happened to you in the past 11 years. I'm like, now I feel like, is this something that I should worry about now? Because this is not something that's common. So he's like, no, but still nothing to worry about, easily relieved, resolved, you'll be fine. So now he's packing up his kid. My husband and mom come back in because they had to exit, due to protocol. There was just like nobody in the room but the nurses. So like I told you, like when my husband was leaving the room, I peeped at the doctor, looked my husband a certain way. And then now my husband's coming back into the room, and now that the doctor says like, hey, do I know you? Or have we met from somewhere? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's why the look happened, because this doctor believes he knows my husband. And my husband was like, nah. He's like, have you worked here? Because I guess the doctor's assuming he looks familiar because he worked there. Anyways, that doesn't really have anything to do. That doesn't have anything to do with the story, or maybe it does. Who knows? But I immediately tell my husband, like, babe, I moved. I have a spinal leakage fluid. It hasn't happened in the past 11 years for him. And he's like, wait, what? So now the doctor's like breaking everything down to him. And I can see my husband's just like boiling up. Like, I stepped out for 1 minute. Like, what happened, basically? But we find out that, like, we do our own research as Dr. works out, and we realize that it's not too bad as it sounds. To God be the glory, I'm here today, so God's good. But past that is where I have no idea what happened. I promise you, the pain was making me delulu. Like, I felt so removed from this world. Like, things was happening all around me, but I'm just kind of like in a daze. But then when they inserted the epidural in my back, that's when I really lost, like, attachment from this world. Like, I was like dozing off and knocking out every minute. There's so many pictures of me, it's like, not. Because, shout out to my husband, he was documenting through pictures all along the way, right? Even when I was in like debilitating pain, he's still getting those pictures. I'm knocked out on the bed, asleep. He's still getting the pictures. And I have a pen in one hand, a notepad in the other, and I'm knocked out. I'm supposed to be signing stuff. And I'm signing, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm signing, but thanks to my husband and mother was in the room, so they're listening to what the nurse is saying to me. So I'm signing, trusting that if anything is alarming, they will obviously like speak up for me. Now this is where my doctor's plan was going to be put into action. She wanted to induce me, manually induce me through Pitocin, and to kickstart labor. All right. So she started off with like 2 mgs, no action. 4 mgs, no action. I think 6 mgs, no action. I think action didn't start until she did like 8, I think. I don't know. But this is where I kind of don't remember what happened. So I'm gonna call my husband, because he was more alert, aware. He had eyes on everyone, and he knows everything that was going on, because my baby was really like the lookout, the watcher. So basically, after the Pitocin, right? Right. Did anything happen between Pitocin and pushing? Because that's what I'm not so sure. I was sleeping.
There was still long periods of waiting.
Yeah, because they were coming in and out. Oh, there was a moment where they hooked up, I guess, the catheter, so that I was peeing in a bag now. Right. But I thought you were gonna mention like the nurse just kept coming in and monitoring.
Oh yeah, those little things, of course.
But nothing was happening.
No, nothing's happening. Of course, she's coming in, monitoring the machine, making sure the baby's heart rate.
Because we can hear it the whole time.
The range. Yeah. You know, making sure your heart rate, looking at the contractions. So, of course, there was just one nurse at this time coming in, like every 15 to 20 minutes, coming in to check. but not much action was happening.
Okay.
Because they was waiting for the Pitocin to actually take effect.
Kickstart.
Yeah. And so then I think maybe a couple hours go by. That was definitely like a long period of waiting.
Yeah, because I was asleep during this time.
What's going on?
So I wasn't sure what's going on.
Yeah, so we're just like waiting and waiting.
Oh, but then your mother comes at this point.
Right. Mom comes
So
in.
now we have both our mothers there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm knocked out. Like I see it, I say hi, and then I go to sleep. Because I mind you, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning we got there. We were all tired.
We were tired. Yeah, we were tired. And so, yeah, then after that, like there wasn't much action because it was just coming in, checking on you, coming in, checking on you.
Okay.
So then after that, you know, I think the real stuff begins around like 3. So from like 9 to like 3, it was just waiting for the Pitocin to really pick up. And then obviously they would come in, check, okay, now you're 4, I mean, now you're 6 centimeters dilated, 8, 9. Okay, so now we're going to try to push.
And that's when we saw my OBGYN, the one who had the whole plan in place so I can have a safe delivery. And the instruction they gave me for pushing, they said, act as if you are taking a bowel movement. And I was like, all right, easy. I take a little time, you know? So I'm like, how hard could it be?
Poop was everywhere.
And so that's why I need him, because he was at a different vantage point. So my husband was literally assisting my OBGYN and the nurses. And he was holding my feet up, holding my foot up, my left foot. And my mother was next to him, and then his mother was next to my mother. So all along the sideline of my left side was my support system. Yeah. Just there. But Dante had a vantage point of seeing everything in action, right? So before I want you to explain of like what you saw in action, there was 3 ways I was like instructed to push, right? The first way was easy peasy. I was like, oh, this is like a cakewalk. They said, hold behind my thighs. A nurse was on my right leg, Dante was on my left neck, and they were pushing my feet towards me as I was pushing outwardly. And I had to do 3 pushes, 10 seconds each. But then they realized that the baby kept going in, so right? So explain, like, what were you seeing when I first started with the thigh, before I gradually upgraded to the other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you were pushing, and then you could basically see the baby's head.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you could see the baby's head. So the baby, like, so she opened you up obviously, and then you could see the baby's head. And then every time you would push, but the baby would go back in. So she would push, you would see the baby's head, and the baby comes back. And then at some point, you just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and then your head was getting closer and closer. We get to the point where the baby, you can see the baby's hair like kind of hanging out. Yeah. So it's just like,
oh, you even have to stop pushing.
Well, no, when you were pushing, but then it was like, then they were just like, okay, the baby's not moving anymore. So now let's change, use a different technique for pushing. So then they brought in another lady.
No, before the lady, it's now hold on to the rail.
Hold on to the rails, yeah. So like,
so I was holding on to the rail and pushing, doing the same set.
Yep, pushing, holding on to the rail, pushing.
But I guess that didn't make a difference either. He was still going back in.
It was still going back in, but I mean, with every new technique, with every different technique, you would see that, okay, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the baby finally coming out.
Okay.
And so that really helped, because then at that point, I think that's what they call like crowning, where you can see the baby's head just sort of hanging out.
The full head,
The full head wasn't out, but you can just see the baby's head, and just like, okay, that's the baby's head. The baby's definitely coming out.
I see. Like the full circumference of it.
Yeah, so you can see the baby's coming out, and then they did a pulling method where they sort of had like a sheet, and then one lady was like, okay, you pull, and I'm gonna pull the opposite. So
it's like tug of war.
Yeah, like tug of war. So Victoria's like pulling and pulling.
And I was doing the same count. As in, like, I was pulling for 10 seconds and then breathe. Pull for 10 seconds and breathe. Pull for 10 seconds and breathe.
Yeah, that really helped with getting the baby out.
That
method was a really good method.
I started pulling that sheet. That's when my mother got up, and she became the loudest person in that room. Like, I could no longer even hear the doctor sometimes.
She was, push me.
She was like, push me, push me, push. You're going.
Yes, you can do it.
You got it, me.
You did it as a track star. You did it as this. You did it as that. You can do it. Yes. And she had her Bible
at the
and everything.
loudest. I had loudest volume she can go. Like,
man, she
yeah, it was her Bible in her right hand, maybe.
Man, so
she was really like a cheerleader at that point.
A cheerleader, a praying warrior. She was all of those things. But so I think that's what happened. And then I think as you just continue to push and do different methods and different techniques to push the baby out, the baby finally just came out face up, umbilical cord wrapped twice around his neck. And our OBGYN was like, "Did you see that?" So because she hurried up and tried to wrap, take the umbilical cord from around his neck.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. And then she was explaining to us the reason why it took Victoria about, I think,
over an hour.
It took about 3 hours in total because you started once, but then
we paused.
We took a break.
Yeah.
For like an hour or so to give you a break.
Right.
So then they came back. So then you were pushing with just one nurse, and then the nurse was like, "Oh yeah, you're ready." So then that's when the whole team came back. So
that's when my OB
we kind of skipped over that part because there was like 2 periods of pushing.
Yeah.
And so the first
3 really.
Well, 3, yeah.
With my OB.
Oh, 3, yes.
Then with the nurse,
and then with
back
everybody
with my
else.
OB. Yeah.
It's like 3 chances of like you just pushing and pushing. And then after that one.
And when I tell you I was like out of it, but every time they said push, I don't know where I got the strength, but I pushed. But then when I had to stop, I'm literally laying there like, yo, I have nothing left in me.
Huh?
But then when they say push, boom, out of nowhere, some strength came, not out of nowhere. God gave me that strength and I pushed again. But I'm telling you, if I have an appropriate picture, I will show you. Like there was one point, I'm just laying back like, I got nothing else in me. But I'm not saying that vocally because it's like, I gotta push this baby out. So why am I gonna say that? Like, we don't got time for that, right?
Nope.
So, but in my face expression, in my body, I was just drained and done. But then when they said push, God gave me that strength, and I'm like, it was the sheet one that pushed my baby out. When I was holding on to that sheet, and the lady on the other end, when I tell you her strength, oh, she was strong. She was strong, and if she could have pulled me out of that hospital bed. But I was like pushing back with the strength God gave me, which prevented her from just yanking me out the bed. Because she was not easy on me.
So then after that, after the baby came out.
But explain to them, how did you see the baby come out? So like the head came out.
Yeah, the head came out.
And then the body came out quick, huh?
Yeah, the body came out. So once the head came out, everything just kind of just really
slipped on out.
Yeah, it was easy after that.
I wish there was a recording of the baby coming out. I wish I wouldn't show it because obviously that's private, but like for me, I wish I could see it. All I saw was a picture.
Yeah.
But I wish I saw like a video of like the whole coming out.
I don't know why we don't have that video. Because of the angle. It was
because of the angle. There's a lot of people that wouldn't block it.
Yeah. So basically the baby came out facing up, facing heaven.
So our doctor pointed that out to us. That it's not common.
Yeah.
That the baby will be facing upwards.
Yeah.
And that was symbolic because, like I said, she was a Christian black woman, and us being Christian and black, well, black had nothing to do with it, but us being Christian, we symbolically saw it as looking up to the heaven. Looking up to heaven.
And so then that happened, and then after that, it was just a bunch of chaos. It was like 15 people in there, a bunch of nurses that we have not interacted with at all prior to that point, where they're taking all kinds of measurements and...
Oh, but before that, so baby came out, and they just plopped the baby on me. And even though I wanted them to do that, I said I want immediate skin contact. That was like my instructions to them. I was not ready.
Nope.
Oh, he's crying.
You're doing a good job.
So I was not ready. My doctor knew. I said I want immediate skin to skin contact. So she, like Dante said, she immediately unwrapped the umbilical cord that was around baby's neck twice, and she puts him on me immediately. And when she does that, I went into full like anxious mode. I'm like, I was like, wait, pause. I wanted to pause, and yet we're in real life right now. I'm thinking that I'm a Sims character, and I want my person to pause the game, right? And there was no pause. There was like 15 people in my face like, oh, your little baby's so cute, oh, stimulate him, oh. And it's like they're wiping him and stimulating him and complimenting him. And I'm just like, hi, baby. Like, I was just so like not ready. I'm looking over to my baby like, we did it, baby, we have a baby. And it was just chaotic, but also so relieving. But I couldn't even embrace the fact that it was over because it just felt like so much was going on that I'm like, it took me a minute to just say thank you, God, because like in my head I'm like looking at the new nurses that's in my face, and then the baby's on me and I'm looking at my baby and I'm just kind of like, he's here, you know, like. And then finally they took the baby off me, cleaned him up, and then that's when I'm just like, thank you, God. Because that's when it started to become a little slower in there. Nurses are trickling out. Everything seems to be calm. My doctor, my OB is pushing down on my stomach so I can burp out the placenta. And I'm in my head like, yo, it's over. It's really over. Like, God is good. Oh, this is what we missed too. It was so chaotic that even Dante cutting the umbilical cord was just so chaotic and capturing that as well. Yeah. Because we have like our mothers who's not really too like familiar with phones and cameras and technology. So they didn't know how to take a picture or a video of it. But we got a little bit, but it wasn't the clearest thing. But that's besides the point. The placenta came out, the umbilical cord is cut. The room is becoming a little bit more steady and calm. And I remember just looking back, my baby is with the baby as he's getting cleaned and measured and weighed. Because, our fear was that like, we don't want the baby to be out of our sight. So I had my mom next to me, Dante was with the baby, so that he can be with the baby, make sure it's not out of our sight. Even though we trust everything that was happening, everyone was like very nice and they looked trustworthy, you know, we just wasn't sure. So we just wanted to always have eyes on the baby and always have eyes on me as well, because we saw a video that like after the baby's born, people just forget about the mother. And they're just kind of like, oh, look at the baby, oh, look at the baby. Meanwhile, the mother's there like bleeding out still. So it's like the mother needs somebody next to her too. So my baby did a good job doing back and forth. And I was surprised he was doing back and forth. I was like, baby, watch the baby. But he was like, I want to make sure you're okay too. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm good, you know? And another thing I wish I knew, after giving birth, I began to feel everything. All the contractions I thought was over and behind me, I started to feel again. Because now my uterus was trying to like shrink back. So I'm feeling the pain of that. They want to move me from the delivery room to the postpartum room. So they want me to sit on a wheelchair and my butt is hurting. I'm like, I can't move. And when I tell you, the woman I was all throughout pregnancy, I was not that woman on delivery day. I took an epidural, I took Pitocin, and then after delivery, I took Tylenol and ibuprofen because my butt was hurting so much that I couldn't even sit on a wheelchair to be wheeled to the postpartum unit.
I got a strong baby.
And it's just like, wait, who are you? And that's why I didn't feel like myself anymore, because I was on all these drugs that my normal self would have refused, or like my body's not used to taking. So I was very just detached and just removed. I really can't even find the word, but it's just kind of, I didn't feel present. And I thank God that everything went smooth after delivery, because even after you birth your child, You can still have complications after delivery. You can still have complications after you get home. You can still have complications weeks after being home. And I'm here before you 3 weeks postpartum, and to God be the glory, I am moving, I'm pain-free, I am alive and well, okay? And I couldn't have done any of that without God giving the doctors the wisdom and the respect and the integrity that he had to care for me, and for my husband, for being there for all of my appointments. When I tell you all of my appointments, my baby didn't miss not a one. Okay, even if he had class to teach, he would do the arrangement he had to do. Even if he had a meeting, he'd do the arrangement, because he was like, my baby is coming first. And I appreciate that for him so much. And it's so funny, because in the beginning of my pregnancy, I would say I'm pregnant, right? I would make it an I thing. But by the end of the pregnancy, I was saying we're pregnant, because honestly, together, me and my baby shared this journey. When I was in pain, he was in pain. When I was up, he was up. Like, we shared in every moment together. There was not one moment I felt alone in this pregnancy. Obviously, the pain, you know what I'm saying, but everything we shared in everything. So I just thank God for our hubby, and then for our mothers for being a good support as well. Dante's mother being a few minutes away, she was always nice to have around, and good company when I was just like chilling, being pregnant. And then my mother, always a FaceTime call away, and we'll have a conversation on FaceTime until she came physically here by late January. And my support system is obviously bigger than just my husband and our mothers, but those were like the core. And it was just an amazing pregnancy and delivery. But obviously, in the moment, I wouldn't say that. But now looking back, I'm just like, to God be the glory. Okay, so we're back on a new day, because as I reviewed the previous clip on me sharing my labor and delivery experience, I realized I missed a crucial, important, essential part of my labor and delivery story. So I got my baby back to share it, because he is the eyewitness of it all. As you guys can see, he was like there front and center.
I was there front and center.
Kick it off.
I was an eyewitness, and I tell you, it was a traumatic yet beautiful experience watching my beautiful wife give birth to my one and only son. And I'll have to start at this part. Victoria was pushing, and the baby's, what is it called, crowning?
Yeah.
So we were looking at the baby's head, like with every push, the baby's head would come out. Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay, he's coming. No. So he'll go right back in. And then Victoria kept pushing, and the baby's head would come out, then go right back in. So when the baby's head finally fully came out, he was not only facing upward, but he had the umbilical cord wrapped around his little neck twice.
Yeah.
The umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck twice, and the Dr. Code acted so fast, she immediately unwrapped the umbilical cord from around his neck, and then she looks at me and she goes, "You saw that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I saw it." My son.
Hold on, yeah.
So yeah, that's our son is in there crying right now, because he does not want to sleep. So the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck twice on his little neck, and she had to hurry up and move it. And look at him. Let's see this little boy. Look, this little umbilical cord wrapped around my son's neck. Come here.
He's swaddled right now.
Come here, boy. That little umbilical cord was wrapped around your neck, man. Aww. Hey, son. Hey.
He wanted to make a debut so bad.
Look at him. Look. So, listen. This is when, and y'all listen. It is a miracle that this boy is here. When he came out, I immediately knew, yo, that's my son, because he had my nose, he had my skin. And
everyone said that. It's immediately oh yeah, that's Dante.
That's and I immediately said, oh, I love this little boy
They would have same birthmarks, same conditions, same nose.
This is my, like, this is my son. Like, hey, son. Like, he knows he's my son.
Yeah, like, they are attached at the hip. All in all,
it was a beautiful delivery.
Yeah, we just thank God.
Thank God.
I thank my support, my baby, also our mothers that were in the room, and then the doctors, of course, and just God giving these doctors the gift of this labor and delivery, because everyone in there knew their role, knew what they had to do, and they were working together just effortlessly, and I couldn't have been more appreciative.
Say thank you, Win.
And then give me this baby bundle of joy. Honestly, I love my baby so much. Like, I love him so much. Like, he is the best baby we could have ever asked for. Anyways, any last words, baby?
Thank you, God. Blessing me with a beautiful wife, a handsome son.
Yeah, he's the cutest.
Great doctors.
Yeah.
And solid support system.
Yeah. Amen to that. So that's the end of this video.
Thank you, Lord.
You guys are detained, informed, inspired, or motivated, you know, to share your story as well. Because everyone needs to hear it. Because when I was pregnant, I was watching a lot of these stories. I was watching a lot of labor and delivery stories because it gave me some type of insight for what I could possibly experience. And they were definitely helpful. So if that does it for someone else, then my job is done here in creating this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in another one. Bye! Bye!